Can everyone see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hello everyone. Uh, my name is Akm Kawser. I'm on behalf of my group, Vishal Sarkar. Vishal will give the presentation next day. I will give it today. So our presentation topic is based on the paper on generative adversarial networks, which is published by Ian Goodfellow, one of the deep learning pioneers. So let's start. So generative adversarial networks, in short, GAN, is basically a combination of two neural networks. One is a generative model and the other is a discriminative model. So what it means, generative, by generative, it means it will generate some new data. It's not like the typical deep neural network that we have been studying so far, which uses for classification. It What the difference is, it will generate new data. So I will show it in the later part. So adversarial means, by the word adversarial, it means that these two models, generative and discriminative model, it will compete against each other. These two are actually neural networks, so they will compete against each other to learn probability distribution. I will also show it later part of the in detail in the later part of my slide. And by N, it's a neural network. So what is generative model and what is discriminative model? We have to gather some good knowledge from this. One more thing I want to note: before everything you see as a screenshot has been taken directly from the paper. So so generative model, basically it generates new data. I'm just giving some basic knowledge now. I will dive deep in the later part, so just hold your chair. So this model is actually used to generate new data, the generative model. And the discriminative model, it is basically a classifier, whatever you call it. It's basically a classifier. It will classify what will it classify? It will classify whether the data that has been provided by generative model is real or fake. If it's real, then it's from the domain, and it's fake, then it's generated. By generated, what I mean by generated, I will talk in the later slide. So this is what GANs can do. For example, you can see in the first PNG video, whatever, there is a horse, but by using sampling and other training with other noisy data, this GAN can actually produce a zebra-like horse. For example, if you look at the second video, it's really hard to distinguish whether it's a zebra or a horse. So GANs are not for classification, it's for creating, generating, or producing, whatever you say, new data. We can see that it's a new data. You cannot actually figure it out by seeing whether it's a zebra or a horse. Okay, as I have said before, that whatever screenshot I have been taken, it will be directly from the paper. So this intuition has been provided in the paper, that the generative model can be thought of and analogous to a team of counterfeiters trying to produce fake currency and use it without detection, while the discriminative model is analogous to police trying to detect counterfeit currency. So by counterfeiter, it means a person who makes a copy that looks like the original of something. It's really important to uh, realize what it means. A person who makes a copy that looks like the original of something, but it's not the original thing. So keep this in mind. I'm giving some other examples. And also another point has been provided in the paper, that is competition in the game drives both teams to improve their models until the counterfeits are indistinguishable from the genuine article. So this has been taken from the paper as well. So I'm giving a simple illustration here. For example, this is the generator. We heard about this just few slides ago, the generative model and the discriminative model. So how these two models compete against each other, we will see it here. That's just an intuition. I will describe in more detail the math parts later. So I'm just giving a intuition that has been used in the paper. So this generator will first, here we can see in this illustration that this generator is trying to show different pictures to the discriminator. The discriminator will decide, yeah, this is the real picture, but this is actually not the real picture. This generator is actually trying to fool the discriminator by improving his generated data. So this generator is showing different data. Yeah, it's close enough. It's close enough, and then finally he got he was able to fool. The word "fool" is very important because whatever the generator will produce, it will never be the real data. It will look like a real data. So fool, the word "fool" is really important here. So this generator will try to fool this discriminator, and it will try to reach as close as possible to the real data. So this is how these two models will compete against each other. So it will try to improve, and it will also show that it will also decide, because I said it before that discriminative model is actually a classifier. So it will decide whether it's the generated image is real data or fake data. So see, it is giving some answer, binary answer, no, 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 and finally it's yes. So now I will describe about the mathematical intuition that has been used in the paper. This screenshot has been taken from the paper. So the min-max loss function, that is the heart of this algorithm, adversarial network algorithm. So before I start, by Z it means noisy data, and by X it means real data. What is noisy data? I will describe later. Please hold for few minutes. So how this mathematical intuition actually work? So basically this equation, we can divide it for our better understanding into two parts. This D is actually a function of a discriminative model, and this G is a function denoting the function as the generative model, and this is mean. This mean is the for generative model, and this max is for discriminative model. So I have broken this equation to two parts because this function, this V is denoting the loss function. It's basically a combination of two functions. So I have divided into these two parts. So if we skip the generative part here, then this discriminative part consists of these two terms. The first, as you can see, that D is in both sides, but in G it's only here. So what it does, that this part of the equation actually works for real images, and this part is works for fake images that has been generated by the generator. So this by this equation, it means that G is our generative model. So it is taking input Z, which is our noisy data. It is taking input Z with the noisy data, and then it's turning, it is giving this input to the discriminator, which is actually deciding whether this given input is real or not, whether it's fake or real or fake. So this discriminator model is actually deciding it. So by this equation, this is actually what we can get out of it. And this is for real data, because you can see that there is no generative part here. So this will only figure out the real image. And I will also show the algorithm what this actually mean. I will also simplify it in my later part. So just take this brief idea. So discriminator is trying to maximize the real data from here, and discriminator is trying to minimize the fake data, because here the input is going to come, and then the discriminator will decide whether it's fake or not. So yeah, then from the generative part, as I said, it will keep generating fake data until it come close to the real one. So this equation is only for the fake data. Okay, done. So the discriminator output a value dj, indicating the chance that X is a real image. Being a classifier, its objective is to maximize the chance of recognizing real. Just whatever I said is written here. Next, I will describe the algorithm that has been mentioned in the paper. This is the this is the algorithm part of the paper. I have taken the screenshot here. So what it does, it's actually just it has just given a pseudocode of the loop of the generative adversarial network. So what it does, it will take noisy data. I will show what is noisy data means by in the next slide. So the generator part will take noisy data, and it will produce fake data. As I said before, that generator will only produce fake data. It doesn't have any power to produce real data. But how the discriminator will decide whether it's fake or real? It will decide because we will pre-train this discriminator by real data. We will pre-train this. We will pre-train the discriminator with real data, so that it can decide that whether the given data from the generator side is real or fake. So by this, it will decide, and it will give an output or whether it is true or false, and then it will back propagate. If it's false, then it will definitely back propagate, because by back back propagation means that fine tuning. You know, fine tuning. Fine tuning is basically from a pre-trained model. If we want to use a pre-trained model for generating some new models, we will use fine tuning. This is how the algorithm works, and also this is how basically this math works. I think you got a clear idea now. Yes, one more thing. What is noisy data? For example, this has been trained by GAN. From these different noisy datas, you can see that the GAN has produced real images here. These are real data that looks real. You can see that it looks closer to a dog, and it looks closer to real, not real data. The generator can never produce real data. So as I said before, so it's closer to real images. And some of the applications you will see shocking results that it's really hard to differentiate whether the produced output is real or not. Anyway, so this is probably my last slide. Just hold for few seconds. So this experiment has been conducted with three data sets. One is MNIST, another is TFT, and the other was Cypher 10. So as you can see that different models it has produced better result. The other models has few lackings, and which they have showed in this chart. As you can see that any model that use Markov chain is bad. Just so far, you just keep this in mind. My partner will describe it why. And sampling and Markov chain using is bad. So you can see that adversarial models doesn't use this, so there is no difficulties. And yeah, you can see that it is producing better result. They have used estimator named mean log likelihood. So under this estimator, the following result has been produced. As you can see that it is scoring highest to 225 with very little error, standard error, which is ±2. And for TFT dataset, this is the result. It's like close to this, so we can call it a better result. So yeah, thank you everyone.
Thanks, Rabbi. Anyone, feel free to ask any questions if you have any.
You got me thinking about.
No one having any questions? Okay, then thanks, Rabbi.
Thank you, sir.